everyone, and welcome back to the Lucy Bird. I'm Steph. We're taking a little break from our quilting tutorials to have some Halloween spooky fun with a few crafts that are inexpensive. They're not going to break the bank, but they do pack a big punch. I am really excited about today's craft. It is covering these really hideous dollar store or Dollar Tree pumpkins rather. To make them into a fun little mummy pumpkin that packs a huge punch. So I'm going to walk you through the steps on how to do this inexpensive DIY craft. I have several videos for the next few weeks coming up that are going to focus on making some fun and festive Halloween decor. So we're going to learn how to make this felt and pom-pom garland. We're going to learn how to use the Cricut to make some inexpensive and fun decor for your shelves. But today, let's do the mummy pumpkin. And hey, one more thing before we get started. If you love these videos, I would love for you to hit subscribe. That way you'll never miss a video. You'll always be in on all the fun. So hit the subscribe button below. Let's get started. For this project, you are going to need some inexpensive pumpkins. You can find something like this. This is just a foam pumpkin from the Dollar Tree. I have these other pumpkins that just came off of a centerpiece that I no longer wanted. I'm sure you can find this size at the Dollar Tree too. Really anything works. You actually could use a real pumpkin for this if you wanted to. So just find something inexpensive. We're going to cover it up anyway. And start by spray painting it white. And the reason is that we just don't want any of the orange to show through if you don't get it completely covered. So I left this one here just to show you why you'd want that covered. And that's just so you can, you know, have a white mummy look all around. So start by spray painting it white. In addition, you're going to need some cheap white cloth. I picked these up at the Dollar Tree as well. These were both in the kitchen section. This is called a bar mop dishcloth, and this is a flour sack towel. And I picked these two out because they had different textures to them. So this one you can see is kind of see-through. It's kind of more like a cheesecloth type of towel. This one has a lot of texture to it. I suppose that's to, you know, pick up grime off of your surfaces, but I liked it because of the texture. There's other things you could use too. Look around your own home. Maybe you have old sheets you could use. Maybe you have your own towel you were getting ready to discard. You just need some white towels. You need something to cut it up with. You could either use a rotary cutter or a fabric scissors. And then you need some black yarn. You need some black buttons. Again, you could be creative with this. Maybe go pluck them off of an old shirt that you are no longer wearing. Paint and paintbrush. You need some Elmer's glue and some water. We're going to get that watered down. That's it. Hot glue gun. I have this warming up. So let's get started. So I'm going to start by just cutting these towels into strips. So I've done a couple already. And you do not need to be super accurate or exact with this. I'm just laying this down on my surface. And I'm just cutting some quick strips here. I'd say they are ranging from 1/2 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch. Get several of those. I think it's fun if you do a couple of different textures for this. So this is a pretty big towel. I'm just gonna fold it up just to make my cutting quicker. I'm not using a great rotary mat for this. This is kind of my arts and crafts mat. You can see it's dirty. It's got paint on it. It's got hot glue. I would not cut up a quilt on this, but for this purpose, I'm just gonna use this real quick. Get these strips done. Just get several. You can see I'm not measuring these, just guessing. I'm just eyeballing it. So I've got a good little pile there. So now to wrap your mummy pumpkin, I'm just going to do this little one today. And some of these, now that I'm looking at them, might, I think that'll be okay. They might be a little long. You can just cut them up however you need to. But I'm just going to start by taking an end, putting some hot glue on the top. Just a little dab will do. Kind of tacking that down and giving it a wrap. So wherever it ends, I'm just going to re-tack it down again. And I'm going to start with more of this heavier bar cloth towel and get a lot of the base of my pumpkin covered that way. And then I'll start layering on more of this, what did they call it? I called it a cheesecloth towel. They called it a flour sack towel. Really, you could use gauze for this too if you have it in your closet. I think cutting up a dollar towel is probably more cost effective and efficient than using gauze, but use what you have. Be fun and creative with this. I'm just wrapping it around and I'm not following a certain pattern. I'm just finding an exposed area, putting a little dollop of glue, and then wrapping it around. If you ever feel there are areas where you want more glue to secure it, definitely just add that in. But I think this is enough. This is going pretty quickly here. All right, so once you've covered it enough and just making sure you've covered all of the exposed areas, you can grab a little black paint. You could also do this beforehand, but we'll grab a little black paint here. I'm going to just touch up that stem just to make it stand out a little bit. You could do this in a brown color if you wanted to, but I think just the black and white really makes this pop. Okay, so we got the stem painted. We'll set that aside. And from here, it's pretty easy to finish this up. So I'm going to take some black buttons. You can see on these, and I think it's fun if you do 2 different sizes. So again, all of these things, there's no need to be precise and exact. I think it's the quirkiness of the different sizes and the different textures that make this fun. So I'm just putting a dollop of glue on the back and securing these black eyes on. Okay, pretty cute. Set those aside. And then for the mouth, we are going to make a little glue water base. So I'm just going to put a little glue into this container here. And you do not have to be super precise with these measurements. I'm going to guess that I'm putting about a tablespoon in there. And then I'm going to take a little bit of water. I just have a spray bottle here. And I'm going to make about 3 sprays in there. And before I mix that up, I'm cutting some yarn to make the mouth and the little cross things in the mouth. I don't even know what you'd call them, like the stitches, I guess. So I just want to make sure that that looks about right. And it does. So what I'm going to do, you could mix this up with, you know, a popsicle stick or something like that. I'm just going to use my finger because I'm going to have to get my fingers dirty with this anyway. And we just want it nice and runny. So I think this is like the old paper mache trick where people use this, you know, to set yarn and stuff. You could also probably use Mod Podge, but I had this and this works well and it dries clear. So all I did was I dipped my piece of yarn in that glue water mixture. I'm just going to set it straight across. Just kind of tamp that down. Then I have 3 little cross things cut here. These are about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. And I'm just going to set them on there. I'm going to do 3 of those. I think that'll be cute. And you just want to make sure it's touching the fabric. So this is going to take a little bit to dry. But once it does, it's going to dry clear and it's going to harden a little bit. You could probably also put this on with hot glue, but I don't recommend it because you're going to get a little spillage from the glue. So here is your mummy pumpkin. Set it aside to dry. He needs to set up a little bit there. But they turn out really, really cute. So I hope to see your mummy pumpkins. If you make them, I'd love for you to comment here. I'd love to connect with you on Instagram, on Facebook, or hop on over to my blog. I'll have a full tutorial over there as well. Hey, join me back here next Monday for another fun way to make your house spooky and fun for Halloween.